Hey guys, welcome to YouTube today. I'm gonna turn that on for a second. Okay, so good morning everyone. How is everyone's day going so far? I am gonna do another video on the geckos. You guys have been asking. I have a bunch of questions here in the greens, and I am going to do my very best to answer them for you today. So I'm not going to really bother them right now. They are sleeping. This is their time of sleep. So we're just going to talk about them, unless all of a sudden one of them starts to move around. Then maybe I'll bring them out. Most likely Cheeto will be the one that does all the moving, if any of them do. But Cheeto was doing a lot of moving earlier today. Yeah, my cat actually noticed that every time that Cheeto moves or starts climbing, my cat seems to want to be a part of it. So that is why he's sleeping now, because he was full of energy earlier today. So, yeah. So today what we're going to talk about is some interesting stuff that people talked about, and a couple of them I added just because I thought maybe why not. So the first question, what rating would I give them for kids or adults? Okay, so kids or adults, depending. Actually, it's not really depending. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on your skill that you have with geckos, or what you know about geckos or reptiles. Okay, I shouldn't even go with reptiles because I only know specifically geckos. Geckos are my main goal. My only lizards that I have. I don't even. Yeah, I guess whatever. So for kids, out of 5, I would give them a 4 out of 5. Depending on how your kids are with care on animals is depending on what they're gonna handle with them. Like their biting can hurt your like a 5-year-old and under. So definitely, if you got kids under that, I would say stick to fish or something. Maybe, I don't know. There's a couple other people who could probably address different animal or reptiles for kids under that age, but I would think the best age group would be 10 and up for geckos. Even if the parents are paying attention to what the kids are doing, geckos can be very misjudged by anything. Right here, Cheeto, I don't even know if Cheeto meant to or what he was thinking, but Cheeto was just walking on me, and he normally goes up on my face. He'll walk everywhere. And he went to my face and just poof, bit me, and that was it. I was like, okay. And it does hurt. But I don't freak out as much. I do freak out when Peanut tries to bite me because she's a baby, and I don't really, and I don't really want to know what it feels like from him. Anyway, so the only gecko that I've never gotten bit by is Bowser, which is weird. She is the more aggressive one. But anyway, so adult-wise, I mean, do your research. And they can make wonderful pets for you. I find they're probably the cheapest animals to have, or reptiles, pets, whatever, to have. Cheaper than you, Smokey. Cheaper than you. So yeah, I would say adults for sure. There's no age limit for adults. I give 5 out of 5 for an adult to care for them, as long as you do your research, you give them the proper care, the proper time. I say this in all my videos. Always make sure you have time for them. If they're in separate cages, to me, how I think geckos should be is cared for and always paid attention to, because to me, I think they might get depressed or something like that. So that's just my opinion and my theory on that. So I would give them a 5 and then a 4 out of 5 for kids, but make sure the kids are over the age of 10. Yeah, over the age of 10 would be my number. So someone asked me, should I put rocks or mud or sand in the tank? Mud. Well, you can put this thing called Eco Earth. You can get it anywhere. That is sometimes what I use for Bowser and Cheeto. I don't use it for a baby because babies can, I guess they eat a lot. That's what I was told, and I noticed that when I tried it. They would just try thinking it was food. So the only thing is, you can use mud and stuff, or like Eco Earth, if you want to call that mud. It pretty much could be mud. You can use it, but I found something out that's a lot cheaper, and it looks really decent for what I got. But I got this. It's a type of rug. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. My next video I will look it up. But I paid $13 for each of them, and they range from, I think, like $13 to $30 for each size. And they're just like rugs, but they're clean. Like, it's easy to clean, easy to care for, and it's cheaper. You don't always have to buy substrate. You pull it out, you vacuum it, you can throw it in your washer, dryer machine, done. And it's clean. So that's definitely something you guys could do. Rocks, yeah, you could put rocks in there. I would suggest, though, being careful with what rocks you put if they're too sharp. If your gecko walks on it, it can just cut through them and kill your gecko. And you don't want that. You can make your own rocks if you are inclined in the brain to do that. I'm not. I can't even build a... Yeah, no. I can't build nothing. It took me almost 4 hours to put this computer desk together with instructions. So I can't build. Anyway, that makes me sound like a really poor man. I can't even... Anyway, so yeah, you could definitely use rocks. Just make sure they're not too sharp. Sand it off if you can. Yeah, and make sure that they're not going to fall. Make sure there's enough structure around it that it's not going to drop on them. You could do that. Sand, no. Sand is not good for your geckos. I tried it, and this is all coming from experience that I have had. I have used sand for my leopard geckos, and I hated it because of 3 things. 1, it was a pain in the butt to clean. 2, it didn't look good in the tanks. Doesn't matter if you get whatever color, it doesn't look good. Number 3, their shedding will be horrible. And this little brat, Cheeto, does not like help when it comes to shedding. Bowser, I can help because she knows she needs the help. He doesn't. And when I had that sand, he had a hard time shedding, and it was his first time ever having a bad time shedding out of the year I've owned them. And I won't use sand. Sand, I find, is just not good, and it gets all over your house. Trust me. So don't use sand at all. It's like a 0 for me on sand. There is this stuff. It's like it's sand, but they also add like texture rocks to it. Don't use that. It's the same thing. Okay. Something just fell. All right. So the other question was, can you clean your tank with them inside, or is it best to remove them? Honestly, whatever works. If you're new with geckos and your gecko is new to you, I found the best way to get a hold of Bowser and Cheeto and slowly Peanut. All 3 of my geckos, I'm actually doing the same method, and it's working. I find if you leave them in there, when you're cleaning their tank, they are going to get used to your movement. They're going to get used to you handling stuff, and they're going to realize you're not there to attack them. You're not there to hurt them. And eventually, when you go in there, you start to move things. They're not going to pounce you. They're not going to drop their tail. They're not going to die. They're not going to have a heart attack. They're just going to be, what's he doing? One thing I do a lot with Bowser and Cheeto is when I start going into their tanks, I normally move things around and put things different places, and they seem to really enjoy that. Because when I do that, they're just like exploring after that. They're walking around and everything. So you can clean them as long as you're not using like poisonous chemicals that you're going to spray in front of them. I normally use water only. It cleans if you do it properly. And I mean, like I said, I don't use substrate, so I don't have much of a stain. The rugs that I use cleans it perfectly fine. So yeah, definitely you can clean with your geckos inside your tank at the same time. The babies, I will add, if you're going to clean with the babies, don't freak out if they start hissing at you. He did that to me for the first 6 times I ever went into his tank. After doing that, in my last video, if you guys look, he started climbing on my hand and everything. He has been doing that quite often. So do not freak out if they hiss, but don't force it. If they hiss, take it slow. Take it a little slower at their pace. Not your pace, their pace. Next question. Okay, this is a weird, interesting one. Okay, one. I don't mind this question. Is it okay to go on a week trip without feeding your geckos? Okay, that's a good question. How to answer that? Yes, you can do it if you want to. I feed mine every 3 days. The baby I feed every day. I have to actually go get more worms as of tomorrow. But yes, I feed mine every 3 days. I don't stretch it any longer than that. The reason for it is I have a certain schedule that I put into their time, I put my time into them. Their scheduling that I do for feeding them is always every 3 days. Occasionally, if all of a sudden I see them moving around and excuse me, it's like 1:37 in the morning. I'm sorry, I yawned. Anyway, but I don't know if I would leave them for a week without eating. I try not to. I don't think it's smart, but I mean, you can. If it's a baby, don't. 100% if it's a baby, I wouldn't. Babies need to eat every day, once a day. I think some people say twice a day, but what I do when I feed them, in my other video as well, not into big detail, but I feed them until they stop eating. They actually do really good with that. They'll eat. I keep feeding them. Like, I hand feed them with tongs. And when I feed them, I'll keep going. And they'll walk away when they're done. They just stop. They'll just turn around and walk away. Which is awesome. That's what I want. That's what I want to see out of them. So that's definitely a plus for that. But I don't think a week is a good idea. I mean, if you can get someone, family, relatives, to feed them, or at least make sure they have water. Water is definitely good to have. I mean, if you're leaving for a week, make sure they have water. And they should be okay, as long as it's not a baby. What's the next one? Da-da-da-da. Are you making noises? Okay. Trying to find the next one here. Okay, the next one is where to get the best pet lizard. Okay. I don't know about all lizards. I only know geckos. But geckos, Bowser came from someone. I don't know who. He wasn't a breeder. He didn't take good care of Bowser, which really, really irritated the crap out of me. Took me a long time to get Bowser to be good and friendly. But how to answer this? West Pet Foods in Steinbach, Manitoba. I would get them. Any West Pet Foods. Cheeto came from West Pet. And Cheeto's name actually came from them. And out of respect to them, I kept his name. And he seems to like it. He comes to his name. So Cheeto came from there. Peanut came from what's that place called? PetSmart. Now, the only reason why I got him when I was at PetSmart was I was originally going for this. I was going for the tank for Peanut or for Cheeto and Bowser because they were in the same tank over there, but I wanted them in this one. It was bigger, so I put them in this one. And when we went there, oh Lord. After this, I'm thinking I'm going to bed. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Anyway, I seen Peanut instantly. I was like, oh my God, it's a Bowser Jr. Oh my word. I just looked at it, and I bought it. Which in that case, I needed another tank. So I bought that tank, which came with him. So, yeah. Best place though, eh? I don't know. I mean, do your research, ask questions. Any gecko can have a flu or a disease anywhere, so I mean, it's a hit and miss, really. It's a hit and miss. I've been just maybe lucky that I haven't had that problem. I don't know. All I know is I'm lucky. I have really good geckos here. Some of my friends, they are terrified of my geckos. They will not touch them. One of them tried to hold Bowser, and Bowser tried to bite him, and he said, nope, I'm done. Cheeto does not like to be held by other people. Cheeto kind of bites a little bit, and he'll freak out. So, yeah. But I'm going to go to West Pet Foods. It's on Main Street in Steinbach, Manitoba, if you're around Manitoba. Or if you're in the States, I don't know what you guys have. But in Manitoba, where I live, in St. Anne, I go to Steinbach. And I get my food for my geckos and all their setups and whatever I need from them. The tanks I didn't because tanks are cheaper at PetSmart, but other stuff is cheaper elsewhere. So I don't know how to answer that. So how to stop a baby from biting? You can't. You can't stop a gecko from not biting. You can't get mad at them. That's the main thing. You can't get mad at a gecko for biting you. You can't really do anything to your gecko if it bites, unfortunately. You raise your voice at it, you have the risk of scaring it. You have the risk of dropping its tail, stuff like that. It's not a cat where I can go smoky. My cat is actually sleeping, so I don't want to yell at him for sleeping because he'd be just like, "Yo, what I do?" Ain't he adorable though? He's like waiting for me to go to bed too. He's as soon as I go to the bedroom, he's with me in bed. Oh, you heard me say bed, did you? Anyway, so yeah, you can't stop them from biting you. Like I said, it's not like a cat or a dog where you can go stop biting me. I when I get bit in the face or in the hand from Cheeto, I don't get mad at him. I don't put him back in the tank. I just hold him. I don't know if they're now. Whoopsie, sorry about that, guys. Camera just fell because my cord here kind of tipped it over. My advice: if your gecko is biting you all the time, though, maybe you're scaring it and approaching it the wrong way. Maybe try different techniques to talking to your gecko in a calmer voice, or I don't know. Okay, so maybe this will help. So Bowser came, like I said, from a very bad place, very very bad place. Um, it took me almost 6 months to barely even put my hand in that tank. She would come out, she would lunge out, she would try biting me, all that sort of stuff. She would do that. It was not fun. It was actually kind of terrifying. But she never latched on me, so it's different. But at the same time, she tried. But what I did was constantly work with her. I was on her, like she was by my bed. I was always on her, like checking on her, paying attention to her, talking to her. And then one day I was doing a YouTube video. It's on there. If you guys go way down to the bottom where I first started talking about the geckos, you'll see that. Oh my god, she's on me. She's on me. Oh my god, let me let you guys go. I was so excited. She let me touch her, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like I'm freaking out. So yeah, geckos have their own speed of, I guess, adapting to you and learning new things. So I can't answer that one. Maybe if someone does know a way to get your geckos to stop biting, drop a comment below and let everybody know if you know anything on that. I just say spend a lot of time with your geckos to get them to know that you're not going to hurt them, and hopefully they won't bite you in the face. Yeah. So that's all I got for you guys for now. I would like to thank you guys for watching. And I would also like to just say, if you don't mind, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video. And we'll get back to you guys tomorrow with a different video. As tomorrow, I am going to go out and do some stuff. So stick tuned for that video tomorrow night. And take care. God bless. Love you guys all. Thank you for watching.